Welcome to this video lesson on the interactive notebook.
In this lesson, we will explain the what and how of interactive notebooks. The interactive notebook was created in the 1970s by Addison Wesley and was popularized by the Teacher Curriculum Institute program History Alive. The basic idea of the notebook is that you think of any topic as a two-page spread.
One side is the notes side, where the class teacher assigns the students to take notes from class, comment on articles, record vocabulary, and other basic knowledge information. The other side is the student side, where the student decides what will be put there as they interact with the information they are recording on the teacher side. This side tends to be creative and colorful in its application of content.
The general purpose of the notebook is to involve students in making sense of their notes visually, to develop nonfiction reading and note-taking skills, and to make use of multiple intelligences and other learning styles in processing content. The right side is teacher-driven. Here students record what the instructor directs them to include. It can be lecture notes, procedural notes, class discussions, vocabulary, basic knowledge questions, reading notes, or notes on movies or videos, for example.
The left side is where the student shows his or her personal connection to the content from the right side. Different teachers have different criteria for what can and cannot go on the left side. This criteria can include brainstorming, creative drawings, concept maps, wanted posters, poetry or music lyrics, graphic organizers, and/or cartoons, to name a few. This side can be hand-drawn, cut out of magazines, or printed from the internet.
Interactive notebooks engage learners by helping students use both their visual and linguistics intelligences, as well as the tactile learning style. When teachers have students watch videos or movies, they also include the auditory learning style.
This helps note-taking become an active process.
Notebooks can also help students to systematically organize information as they learn and can become a portfolio on individual learning. Furthermore, if done well, these notebooks can become study guides for quizzes or tests. Interactive notebooks can be used at any instructional level.
From elementary through college.
Let's start examining interactive notebooks by viewing samples from an elementary student.
All students begin with a single subject notebook. It is best to have the student's name on the front outside cover. Some teachers stipulate that the student may not have a black cover, so the student's name will be easy to see.
As you can see from this picture, this student needed to start a second notebook as the year progressed.
On the first day of school, the teacher asked the students to design the inside page with anything related to the course. This example is for social studies and includes what looks like either a briefcase or luggage with stickers of what can be assumed as places the briefcase has been. You will notice that the page is individualized and colorful.
With elementary, middle, and high school students, the teacher can include a printed guideline with requirements and grading criteria and a place for both students and parents to sign. This can be the first two-page spread in each interactive notebook.
You can also have a two-page spread that includes morning work or other daily focus items and a table of contents.
Throughout the notebook, there can be title pages that differentiate different chapters or topics being covered. Here are some examples of section dividers, one for a geography curriculum and the other for the modern era. Again, the students were able to personalize it in a colorful and creative way.
Apparently, one student loves cats.
Here is an example of the left side of a two-page spread. It is the artistic or visual representation of the content.
This is an example of the right side or note side of the two-page spread. Here, the student took notes during class and later highlighted key concepts or terms during a test review.
Here are some more examples of various ways to be creative and colorful on the artistic left side. These students used feathers, foam, moss, and even spices to create their artistic side.
These students made a timeline, 3 branches of the government, and even a map with a key. While all these pictures have either construction paper or scrapbook paper as the background, that isn't a requirement of the interactive notebook. However, the color representation of content requirement was met. Even the timeline was colorful. To complete your interactive notebook assignment, you are going to need one subject notebook, preferably college ruled. It's best if you do not have a black cover, because when you write your name on the front cover with a black Sharpie, you won't be able to see it. However, if you do get a black one, then make sure you have one of the metallic type Sharpies. Silver works best. What you can do is remove the thing on the top of the sticker here and write your name on the top. I'm just going to use my last name, but go ahead and do your first and last name. And then in the middle, write interactive notebook. And that's the only reason that you need a Sharpie. The rest of the time you'll either need a regular pencil for writing your notes, and then for the artistic side, either colored pencils or crayons. You don't want to use markers because they bleed through the page and then you won't be able to see your notes on the other side. I personally prefer colored pencils. Your very first assignment is going to be your cover page. And this particular book has the additional place to put notes in. The page you're going to want is the first page of lined paper. College ruled is best, but wide ruled works. What you do on this page, what is required is for emergent literacy to have LED 324 written, preferably in the middle. So I'm going to use a blue marker for ISU and write LED 324. For the other courses that you require a interactive notebook, you'll write LED and then whatever that course number is. You can also include the name of the class, which is, for this particular class, Emergent Literacy. So, Emergent Literacy. Part of the assignment for your interactive notebook is for the artistic sides to be colorful, so you'll want your cover page to be colorful as well. The rest of this you can decorate any way you want. The video lesson has some examples from past students. I will wait to finish decorating my cover page and I will turn to the first 2-page spread. The first 2-page spread is basically, let me move the notebook over here so you can see a little bit better. 2 pages flat open is the 2-page spread. The first thing you're going to want to do with a regular pencil is to write on the top outside corners the page numbers. You can start your page numbers on the cover page if you wish, and if you do, then this would be number 1. I prefer to start mine number 1 on the first page of the 2-page spread. So up here in the top corner I will write 1, and over here on the next page I write 2. Then I'll turn the page and I'll write 3. Next page over here is 4. You will do that for all of your interactive notebook pages. All the entries will have page numbers in the top outside corners. For your first interactive notebook entry for Emergent Literacy, the topic is Emergent Literacy Overview. This is the notes side. This is the artistic side. Artistic side, notes side. On top of the notes side, on the very first line, write the title of whatever the entry is. For this one, very first one is Emergent Literacy Overview. And then as you watch the video lesson, you will write your notes here. For other classes, if it's class discussion, you would write your class discussion, you'd write notes on TED Talk, you would write down whatever the professor instructs you to write on this side for the notes side. It's best if you use a pencil so that you can erase, and it's also best if you handwrite it. You'll remember it longer. But if your handwriting is bad or you want to get more information onto the page than you can handwrite, you may type it. However, remember, each entry is just this one page of notes, so you'll have to synthesize and pick the main terms and concepts that you're not going to be able to remember. On this side is a visual representation. So let's say there's a concept you're pretty sure you understood, so you didn't write about it on this side. You could include a picture. You can draw a picture yourself. You can find a picture on the internet, print it off, and paste it down. And in the lesson, there will be some examples of hand-drawn ones, but you can print off the internet. After you have this 2-page spread for each video lesson for emergent literacy, is mostly video lessons. The next 2-page spread, you'd have your notes on the right side and your artistic representation on the left side. Now we're at the end of emergent literacy and we're working on the last entry. And if the last entry for your particular interactive notebook isn't the Gamble and Morrill Chapter 8, that's okay, because I sometimes change the order or the entries year to year. And over here I'm writing my notes, and on the artistic side I will put representations to help me remember what I learned, whether it was something I did or did not write here. Let's say I think I might have problems with this definition. I might include a picture from the internet to help me remember the definitions. But emergent literacy is over, and those of you in corrective reading, you find your last interactive notebook entry for emergent literacy. You turn the page. Your numbers keep continuing, so here's 45 and 46 for my particular entry, and you would write your cover page, create it any way you want, making sure it has LED 398, and of course you can include the title of the course, which is corrective reading. If you wish, you can restart your numbering on the next page so that you would have stopped here on Gamble and Morrill with page 44. There wouldn't be any numbers on this page, and then you could start the next interactive notebook entry on page 1 and 2 for emergent corrective reading. Our first entry is usually How Schools Kill Creativity by Sir Ken Robinson, or you can just continue your numbering as I have. So I have 47 and 48. You will include all the entries for corrective reading. And then the last entry is usually How to Escape Death Valley, also by Sir Ken Robinson at TED Talk. And as you can tell, here's where you can put your language arts cover page. Again, you can just continue with the page numbers as I have, or you can start over again. For language arts, since it is at the same time as corrective reading and you don't know exactly how many pages you have, what you can do is look at the remaining amount of pages you have in your notebook, divide it in approximately half, and make your cover page for language arts here. Go ahead and put corrective reading first, language arts second. For me, if you run out of pages for corrective reading and you come into your cover page for language arts at the end of the semester, I'm okay if you put like a little tab and you continue with 398 here at the end of the notebook. However, if you have spaced it right, you'll actually have a few extra pages before your language arts notes. If you remember, when I pulled off that tab, it said we had 100 sheets, and when I got done with my mock corrective reading, I was at page 86. So 86, that's about half the book, the 43 pages. So as long as you don't tear out extra pages, you will have plenty of room for all 3 courses' interactive notebook entries. Your first interactive notebook assignment for emergent literacy, corrective reading, and language arts will be to create a cover page.
We both require that the course number be included on the cover page.
For emergent literacy, this will be the very first page of your single subject notebook. Now let's take a look at some college level examples
From both of our classes.
All three courses will fit into the same single subject notebook with 100 pages, assuming you do not tear out any pages for other reasons. For corrective reading, the cover page or section divider will be the right side of the very next two-page spread after the last two-page spread for emergent literacy. For corrective reading, you will have approximately 20 entries or two-page spreads.
For language arts, your cover page will start after 398. Since you take 398 and 397 during the same semester, count 21 two-page spreads out from where emergent literacy ended and start LED 397 there.
If, for some reason, you run out of room for 398, you will be able to use the last few pages of your single subject notebook.
There is a problem with each of these cover pages. Can you identify what is wrong?
The problem with the first two is they are missing the course number, LED 398. The problem with the third one is the student combined 397 and 398. They do need to be separate cover pages. Here are some examples from past LED 324 students. When you make your entries, always leave the last 3 rows of the page free in case there's something you need to add based on class discussion. Here are 4 examples of entries for 398.
Here are 2 examples from LED 398 that have some missing criteria. Can you identify what is missing?
In the first picture, it is missing the page number in the top outside corner and is also missing color. In the second picture of comments, it is missing the page number in the top outside corner.
Shown here are some excellent examples of entries for 397.
Many student notebooks are drab repositories of information filled with uninspired, unconnected, and poorly understood ideas.
Active student notebooks, however, allow students to record information in an engaging way.
During various classes, you will be asked to complete assignments in your interactive notebook. The specific purpose of these assignments is to enable you to process video lessons like this one, mini lectures, YouTube videos, TED Talks, class discussions, readings, and to help you create personal ways to solidify your understanding of the course content.
Unless specified otherwise, each entry will have 2 sections, illustrations on the left side and your notes on the right side.
Did you know taking notes by longhand encourages a deeper processing of ideas?
Which can lead to a better understanding of the material.